Ivy Sue, we're getting married. What are you still making a fuss about? The familiar scolding voice reached my ears, abruptly awakening my previously chaotic consciousness. I actually returned to 40 years ago, before I married Cyrus GU, and before he stole my admission notice. Everything is still possible. Cyrus GU in front of me is still chattering away. It's just a bowl of meat. Are you going to die without it? I've already said I only see Jiao Jiao as a sister. Do you have to think of us in such a sordid way? If this keeps up, I don't think we need to get married at all. I suppressed the excitement in my heart and said coldly, then don't get married, a short sentence. Yet it left Cyrus GU stunned in place. Ivy Sue, what are you talking about? Then let's not get married. I snatched the meat from Cyrus GU's hands, suppressing the murderous intent in my heart. What a pathetic loser to give his fiancée's meat to someone else. I don't even want to get married. Seeing that I was about to leave, Cyrus GU anxiously grabbed me. Ivy Sue, what do you mean? If you don't marry me, who do you plan to marry? With you being this foolish, do you think you can get into college like Jiao Jiao? I advise you to recognize yourself, otherwise, when the time comes, even if you beg me to marry you, I won't want you. Slap. I gave Cyrus GU a hard slap and stared at him fiercely as I spoke. Cyrus GU, let me tell you, Ivy Sue, don't want a man like you who is entangled with others. Before Cyrus GU could react, I quickly left with that bowl of meat. The pain in my palm constantly reminded me that this was all real. I really have been reborn. In my previous life, my grandfather, remembering the favor of Mr. GU saving his life, made a dying wish that my parents agree to marry me to Cyrus GU if I failed to get into college. I remember my parents' expectations. After studying day and night, I received the disappointing news of failing the college entrance examination. I was deeply affected and, in a daze, married Cyrus GU. For a full 40 years, I took care of the ailing Mrs. GU for Cyrus GU, raised his younger siblings, and managed all the household affairs with great effort. I thought my sacrifices were all worthwhile, until Cyrus GU died. He forbade me from attending the funeral and left all his property to his children and that woman he had been entangled with for half his life. Claiming to marry me was merely out of guilt for taking away my admission notice back then. He even said before dying that he owed me nothing. I should have been accepted into university, had my own career, and a brand new life. But he ruined my whole life, made me toil for 40 years until I fell seriously ill. Yet still said I was living a life of luxury. Just thinking about this makes me want to crush every bone in Cyrus GU's body. I hurried to the village's post station to inquire if the admission notice had arrived. Uncle Wang fanned himself and waved his hand. Why is everyone coming to ask me? This admission notice is such a joyous occasion. If it arrives, I will naturally let you all know. Ivy, just wait, one by one. I quickly sensed that something was off and hurriedly asked, Uncle Wang, you said everyone is asking. Who else is there to ask? Uncle Wang looked at me strangely and then joked, who else could it be? Just Cyrus GU and Lin Jiqing. Isn't Lin Jiqing taking the exam with you this year? Cyrus GU is probably thinking about you. He said if you get accepted, he'll wait for you for a few years. If not, he'll immediately submit a marriage application to give you a title. Ivy, look how much he cares about you. What a good young man he is. I unconsciously tightened my fingers. Cyrus GU puts on a good act in front of others, and everyone thinks he is deeply in love with me, so, naturally. No one in my past life could have imagined that Cyrus GU would do something as outrageous as taking my admission notice and giving it to Lin Jiao. Thinking of this, I lowered my head, and my eyes instantly turned red. Uncle Wang, could I trouble you with something? From now on, please don't let Cyrus GU take my things. You don't know. He insisted on taking the meat my mom made for me to give to Lin Jiao today. He said she is weak and needs to eat meat to replenish her strength. And he also said that a rural person like me is like a wild boar that can't eat fine grains, that it would be a waste to give it to me. Uncle Wang slammed the fan on the table and glared, saying, What does he mean by this? Cyrus GU, what's wrong with the countryside? The working people are the most glorious. Why should your hard-earned flesh be given to others? No way. I need to have a good talk with his mother. I quickly grabbed Uncle Wang and pretended to be wronged. That's not necessary. Aunt Gu's health is poor. What if she gets upset and something happens? He wants to take everything that is visible. As for what I don't know about in the shadows, who knows how much has been sent out. That's why I was thinking of asking Uncle Wang to pay more attention for me, from now on. As long as the recipient is something of mine, no one but me should receive it. Just right, this bowl of meat will serve as a trouble for Uncle Wang. Uncle Wang still wanted to refuse, but he couldn't withstand my repeated requests, so in the end, he accepted. Having resolved this concern, I returned home holding the empty bowl. As soon as I got home, my parents were surprised to see the empty bowl in my hands. Ivy, have you finished eating so soon? I put down the bowl and shook my head. No, I gave it to Uncle Wang. Just as Mom was about to speak, a voice filled with anger suddenly pierced through. Ivy Sue, what do you mean by that? On what basis are you giving that meat to Uncle Wang? I turned around and said disdainfully, what, do I need your approval to use my own things? My mother held my hand and also asked, Ivy, Cyrus Gu is right, isn't this meat for you to eat with Cyrus Gu? What? I silently clenched my hand and then smiled slightly. Cyrus Gu, why don't you finish your sentence? You want to take my meat, but it has to be given to Lin Jiao. You keep saying that it's a waste for us rural people to eat it, and that it should be given to Lin Jiao to nourish her body. Why should we give our things to you to curry favor? Cyrus Gu panicked and immediately retorted, what nonsense are you talking about? Whoever talks nonsense deserves to be struck by lightning and die a bad death. I immediately took over the conversation and pressed closer to him. So, saying those words in front of me is just a set of rehearsed lines. Are you afraid to speak in front of your elders, Cyrus Gu? Your grandfather did indeed save my grandfather's life, but over the years, our family has helped you quite a bit. Right, money when you needed it, grain when you needed it. My dad even lost a hand trying to save your dad. The debt of gratitude has been repaid, hasn't it? Are you planning to make us responsible for your descendants for the next 18 generations? As soon as these words were spoken, my parents' faces immediately turned grim. Originally, this marriage was forced upon my parents by my grandfather's dying wish. Mom and Dad naturally understand that my grandfather is using me to force them to continue supporting the Gu family. It can be seen that Cyrus Gu is still capable. But it was only under my grandfather's threat of death that he agreed. However, if it means forcing me to take care of them, they would never agree, no matter what. Seeing the grim expressions on Mom and Dad's faces, Cyrus Gu hurriedly said, Ivy Sue, what nonsense are you talking about? I am innocent with Lin Jiao. You should be less smug. As long as you fail the exam, you will have to marry whether you like it or not. He left angrily after saying this, with Cyrus Gu cursing like that. My father's face was naturally not looking good. Ivy, if you truly don't want to marry, I will protect you with my life. My mother held me tightly, holding back her tears. I am a good girl. How could they treat me like this? I feel the warmth of my mother's embrace, and my heart is filled with an indescribable bitterness. That said, the village has always placed filial piety above everything else. Grandpa is gone, but Grandma is still here. Grandma has always taken Grandpa's words as the standard. If I truly refuse to marry and resort to threatening to die, it wouldn't be surprising at all. The people in the village will stab my parents in the back until they die. How could I bear to do that? I wiped my tears and comforted them. It's okay, Mom and Dad. As long as I get into college, no one in this village can say anything. Mom was taken aback for a moment, then she reacted and said, so you went to deliver meat to Uncle Wang to prevent Cyrus Gu from doing something. But such a big matter, such a big thing can still be accomplished. Dad stood up and ruffled my hair. Ivy, leave this matter to Dad. Dad believes that you will definitely get in, and he won't let anyone take away what belongs to you. I nodded heavily. For the next few days, my parents and I took turns going to the station, afraid that Cyrus Gu would find an opportunity. Cyrus Gu and Lin Jiao were not having an easy time either. Lin Jiao was a sent-down youth, and she got involved with Cyrus Gu as soon as she arrived in the countryside. Those exhausting tasks, Cyrus Gu, constrained by the differences between men and women, always made me help out. In the past, I believed Cyrus Gu's words, thinking that Cyrus Gu wanted Lin Jiao to teach his younger siblings, so I always worked hard on those tasks. Once I became clear-headed, I naturally would not continue doing those tasks. Without my labor, Lin Jiao only lasted a few days before complaining of exhaustion, and in the end, Cyrus Gu had to grit his teeth and step in to help. Rumors began to circulate, but Cyrus Gu was just returning home to visit family and would soon be back in the army. After thinking it over, he still came to find me. Ivy, I know I was too harsh before, but there really was nothing between Lin Jiao and me. She will soon be going off to university. What do you think we can have? I really just want her to help teach Xiao Yun and Xiao Yu. You will also be their sister-in-law in the future. Can't you just give in a little? I impatiently pushed him away and said word by word, don't try to get close to me. I would rather marry a pig or a dog than you. Cyrus Gu said angrily after I pushed him away. Ivy Sue, how could a vulgar woman like you possibly get into college? You just wait. I couldn't be bothered to deal with Cyrus Gu and hurried off to the other side. When I saw that familiar figure under the tree again, I finally breathed a sigh of relief. Fortunately, I made it in time. In my past life, I accidentally saved a fainted middle-aged man here while working. I thought it was just a simple act, so after being asked my name, I answered truthfully and then paid no further attention. It was only later that I learned this person's name was Song Pingwang, and he held significant weight in the military. After Cyrus Gu learned that I had saved him, he used that favor to help himself rise step by step, eventually climbing to the position of leader. Yet in his past life, he had humiliated me countless times, claiming that the backgrounds of others' wives were so impressive, while covering up this act of kindness. In this life, I will not let Cyrus Gu gain any more glory. Thinking of this, I quickly applied some first aid measures to him. Just like in my past life, soon, the man slowly regained consciousness. Little girl, thank you for saving me. May I ask your name? I was taken aback for a moment, then smiled and said, Ivy Sue, it's just a small effort. I still have to go to work, so I'll be leaving now. Without waiting for Song Pingwang to ask more, I waved my hand and left immediately. I had no intention of using Song Pingwang for anything. I had heard of his reputation as a man of iron and steel, a true soldier. Such a good person should not die here. I only need to ensure that he won't be coerced by Cyrus Gu with favors in the future. Having resolved a major issue, I felt much lighter at heart. In the following days, Cyrus Gu was surprisingly calm, and even Lin Jiao no longer came to show off how well Cyrus Gu treated her as she had before, but as the days passed, the admission notice was still nowhere to be seen. In the end, even Uncle Wang, seeing me inquire, couldn't help but ask, Ivy, perhaps this means you didn't get accepted. I naturally understood that this was impossible, so I hurriedly asked again, Uncle Wang, do you know if Lin Jiao has been accepted? Uncle Wang shook his head and spoke, not really, but someone saw Lin Jiqing packing up her things. They say that although she didn't get accepted, someone from her family came to take her back. Upon hearing this, I immediately sensed something was off. In my previous life, Cyrus Gu insisted on using my admission notice to help Lin Jiao because her family was unwilling to help her return to the city unless she could get into university on her own. How could things possibly change now? Suddenly, it felt like I had thought of another possibility and asked, Uncle Wang, the delivery man just left, right? Seeing Uncle Wang nod, I couldn't say another word and hurriedly ran towards the village entrance. Finally, at the village entrance, I stopped the delivery man who was about to leave. Hello, I would like to ask if there is a package for Ivy Sue. The postman thought carefully and asked in confusion, wasn't it already picked up? They said it was for Ivy Sue's partner. I also asked the villagers of Dahu village, and they all said he is. In an instant, my blood surged violently. For a moment, I even felt like I couldn't catch my breath. The burdens of my past life weighed heavily on my heart, and a surge of anger compelled me to hurry towards the Gu family. I encountered quite a few villagers along the way, but I couldn't spare a greeting for anyone. I rushed into the Gu family and immediately spotted Cyrus Gu, who was being flirtatious with Lin Jiao. There was no time to think. I suddenly slapped Cyrus Gu hard. Cyrus Gu, where is my admission notice? Cyrus Gu's face turned red from my slap, and the villagers who noticed something was off stood frozen in place. Ivy Sue, what are you talking about? Seeing so many people arrive, Cyrus Gu forced himself to shout calmly, what admission notice? I see you've gone mad from failing the exam yourself. Looking at Cyrus Gu's shameless face, I couldn't help but shout in anger, "You're the one who's gone mad, no wonder Uncle Wang couldn't get it. You took my admission notice from the mailman. Let the villagers say you are my lover. Bah, you call me your lover without being married, do you have no shame?" As soon as these words were spoken, someone in the crowd immediately spoke up. Speaking of which, Cyrus Gu took a package for Ivy Sue from the mailman. But wasn't that thing supposed to be given to Ivy Sue? Could it be that it wasn't given? Seeing the crowd raise doubts, Lin Jiao immediately brought over an envelope. "It's just that I was too busy and forgot to give it." I snatched it away, but when I opened it, it was just a blank piece of paper. Cyrus Gu immediately realized and said sarcastically, "Do you think that's why I didn't give it? What's so special about a blank piece of paper? It was clearly you who switched the things inside." I clenched the white paper and glared at Cyrus Gu. At that moment, Gu Yun and Gu Yu ran over and pushed me aside. "Nonsense, it's just a blank sheet of paper. Do you have any evidence to prove that my brother took your admission notice?" The villagers also nodded in agreement and advised, "Yes. Gu Yun and Gu Yu are the two most honest children. Ivy, this must be a misunderstanding." Even my parents, who rushed over, were momentarily uncertain and advised me to leave. Seeing this, Cyrus Gu became even more pleased and mocked me. "Ivy Sue, why do you despise me so much for not marrying me? I want to leave like a golden phoenix, but a sparrow is just a sparrow, it can't become a phoenix. I advise you to honestly wait for me to submit the marriage application and marry me. I think the one who should honestly clarify things is you." A serious voice came from behind, instantly capturing everyone's attention. The crowd turned to look, discovering a stern-looking middle-aged man approaching. "Little girl, we meet again." I stared blankly at Song Pingwang, not expecting him to appear here at this moment. Cyrus Gu seemed to have caught me off guard and immediately shouted out, "Sure, Ivy Sue, why do you suddenly not want to marry me? So it turns out you have someone else. This man could be your father. How can you be so shameless?" The villagers nearby began to discuss. "Who is this anyway? That's true, why has this Ivy girl suddenly become unwilling to get married? You can't really be interested in that old man, can you? I never expected this. She usually seems so obedient." I couldn't take it anymore. Just as I was about to slap Cyrus Gu, he grabbed my hand. "Did I hit a nerve and make you angry, Ivy Sue? Don't forget that it was my grandfather who saved your grandfather. This marriage contract was established long ago, and now you want to back out? That's impossible. What admission letter? I think you're just dreaming. If you have the ability, make that old man produce an admission letter for you." Just as Cyrus Gu finished speaking, another voice suddenly appeared. "Shut up, Cyrus Gu. Do you know who the person in front of you is?" Upon seeing the visitor clearly, Cyrus Gu's expression changed dramatically. "Li Squad Leader, what are you doing here?" Li Mingjie looked disappointed and said angrily, "Instead of asking how I got here, why not ask what you have done? This is Chief Song. This young woman saved Chief Song." Commander Song specifically came to express his gratitude. As a result, when Commander Song arrived, you immediately slandered him. You truly embarrassed our 17th company. Cyrus Gu's face turned pale instantly, and he began to shrink back under Song Pingwang's gaze. "Commander Song, I'm sorry. I don't know if it's you." Without waiting for Cyrus Gu to finish, Song Ping coldly waved his hand, not giving him a chance to continue explaining. He turned to me and spoke gently. "Little girl, are you sure it was him who took your admission notice?" I nodded and affirmed, "Yes, that's him, given his entanglement with Lin Jiqing these days. I have reasonable suspicion that the admission notice was taken away to give it to her." Upon hearing this, Lin Jiao immediately panicked. "Ivy Sue, what are you talking about? I earned my admission letter through my own efforts. How did it become yours? Are you really thinking of using your connection to the higher-ups to forcibly take it away?" "Jiao Jiao," Cyrus immediately scolded. "What nonsense are you talking about? Director Song is not that kind of person." He turned his gaze towards me, his eyes filled with a hint of pleading. "Ivy, Jiao Jiao didn't lie to you. That admission notice really is hers. I know you don't want to marry me, but you can't deceive me like this." "Cyrus Gu, stop slandering me." I remained unmoved and said coldly, "Since it's not mine, why doesn't she just take out the admission notice and check the name on it?" Or are you all feeling guilty and afraid? The villagers nodded in agreement and whispered among themselves. That's right, whose is this anyway? Just check the name and it will come out. Moreover, I heard from Uncle Wang that that guy from the GU family often sneaks off with my Yatu's things to curry favor with Lin Jiqing. Curry favor is one thing, but directly stopping the mailman to snatch someone else's notification letter is a different matter altogether. I think there must be something fishy going on here. Everyone originally thought I had gone mad from failing the exam. But now seeing Cyrus Gu and Lin Jiao acting all secretive, they all started to have doubts. Li Mingjie urged even more, Cyrus Gu, what this woman said is not wrong. Can't you just take out the names and compare them directly? As everyone pressed for answers, Lin Jiao straightened her neck and said directly, that admission notice is not with me. I darkened my expression and immediately asked, what do you mean? How could it not be with you? Lin Jiao's eyes turned, and she spoke up. This isn't my home. Why should I put my admission notice here? Naturally, I filled in my home address. It's a letter from my parents, telling me that I've been accepted. What, do you want me to take you to my house to prove this? If you don't believe it, you can search my house. Let's see if you can find the admission notice. Looking at the smug expressions of Cyrus Gu and Lin Jiao, I immediately understood that they had been well prepared for this. After all, Commander Song is a soldier. How could he possibly search a female comrade's room without any evidence? Even if they were to search, they would have probably hidden everything long ago. Commander Song, who had not spoken for a long time, darkened his expression. Cyrus Gu, do you think that whether or not you pass can only be determined by a notification letter? I was taken aback for a moment, then couldn't help but look at Director Song with joy and quickly asked, Director Song, do you have a way? Director Song turned to the side, revealing the person who had been behind him, Principal Zhong. I looked at Principal Zhong in surprise, feeling a bit at a loss for words. Aren't you back in the city? Why are you here now? Principal Zhong lovingly patted my head and said to me helplessly, I was originally planning to return to the city. Just then, Director Song found me and asked about you, so I came along. After saying this, Principal Zhong looked at Lin Jiao with a serious expression again. Lin Jiao, do I still need to explain it to you? It was Ivy Su who got into college, not you. The school has records of everything. Are you really planning to go to college under the name of Ivy Su? Cyrus Gu's face turned pale at once. He never expected that I would happen to save Director Song and coincidentally witness this scene. Even the lies he told with Lin Jiao were punctured one by the witnesses brought in. Lin Jiao's face was also filled with panic, no longer possessing the slightest bit of her earlier arrogance, as she trembled slightly and grasped Principal Zhong's hand. Principal, that admission notice is mine. If it's not mine, I won't be able to go back. I don't want to stay in this countryside any longer. Please, let me have this opportunity. Principal Zhong pulled Lin Jiao's hand down and said coldly, that's not a reason for you to take Ivy's admission notice. Quickly return the admission notice. Director Song looked at Cyrus Gu, his expression unfriendly. The facts are here. Cyrus Gu, are you still planning to protect her? In the military? Promotions. Hearing this, Cyrus Gu immediately became anxious. He had performed well in the military, which was why Captain Li valued him. He could never ruin his future for Lin Jiao. Jiao, the admission notice. You should quickly return it to Ivy. At worst, we can take the exam again next year. Cyrus Gu looked at Lin Jiao eagerly, urging her to take out the admission notice. Lin Jiao looked at Cyrus Gu in disbelief and pushed him away. Cyrus Gu, it's easy for you to say. Are you going to give me money? You had a falling out with Ivy Su. This money can't go to your family. Where would the money come from to support my studies? Money matters can always be resolved. Cyrus Gu was extremely anxious, his gaze at Lin Jiao carrying a hint of threat. Do you really have to throw a tantrum with me right now? Lin Jiao was spoiled by Cyrus Gu, and when threatened, she immediately lost her temper. She suddenly unbuttoned her clothes and pulled out the admission notice. I rushed up immediately, wanting to snatch the admission notice, but Lin Jiao was a step ahead and tore the notice to shreds. The fluttering fragments fell to the ground, and I couldn't help but raise my hand and slap Lin Jiao. Lin Jiao, are you crazy? No one expected that Lin Jiao would hide the admission notice on her person. In this era that values purity and reputation, who would dare to search her? Lin Jiao covered the half of her face that I had hit, her eyes filled with deep-seated hatred. I am crazy. What I cannot have, others cannot have either. Ivy Sue, dreaming of going to college, dream on. I looked at the scattered pieces of admission letters on the ground, my heart aching as if it were bleeding. Mom came over and gently supported me. I was just about to bend down to pick it up, but Principal Zhong suddenly pulled me back. Ivy, don't be anxious. Director Song has already taken care of it for you. I stared blankly at Commander Song, only to see him nod at me. As soon as I learned that you hadn't received your admission notice, I had someone send another one from Huqing University. I specifically instructed them about that admission notice. It must be ensured that it reaches you personally. Little girl, this university is the one you got into. Naturally, it should be you who attends. My eyes grew warm, and I repeatedly bowed to Director Song in gratitude. Director Song, thank you. Mom and Dad were overwhelmed with joy, repeatedly thanking Commander Song and the others. The villagers watching also breathed a sigh of relief and congratulated me one after another. That's wonderful. I can go to school now. Our day village has produced a college student too. That's right. Who says our village can't produce a golden phoenix? My girl is the golden phoenix. In stark contrast to this fervent atmosphere, the expressions on Cyrus Gu and Lin Jiao's faces could only be described as extremely grim. After all the fuss, not only did I fail to secure my university spot, but my future and reputation were also completely ruined. Everyone tacitly ignored them. And my parents were even more determined to invite Director Song and the others to our home for dinner, unable to refuse their parents' good intentions. General Song and the others agreed. The group quickly left, leaving Cyrus Gu and his companions with gloomy faces. Back home, his parents specially bought meat and took out their treasured wine, insisting on having a few drinks with General Song and the others. After the first round of drinks, my father looked at me and said, "My daughter, you finally made it through." Director Song, you don't know, she has been clamoring since she was little to do great things and contribute to the country. You see, originally it was an annual exam, and I could support it anyway. It was precisely because of that marriage contract that she had this one opportunity. Dad was saying this while wiping away his tears. I looked at Dad helplessly and tried to comfort him. Dad, why are you saying all this, after all? I've gotten into college now, so I don't have to marry Cyrus Gu. Good days are ahead. Director Song was also patting my father's shoulder, looking at me with admiration. Ivy is right. The fragrance of the plum blossom comes from the bitter cold. Ivy will surely achieve great success in the future. Just so happens that I know some people at Huqing University, and I will ask them to take good care of Ivy. Don't worry anymore. With Director Song's words, my parents finally felt at ease. After dinner, Director Song left me his phone number and told me to let him know if I needed any help. After saying goodbye to Director Song and the others, my parents happily began preparing things I would need for college. Cyrus Gu was unwilling to let me go to college just like that, and he came to find me again with a shameless grin. Ivy, let's get married after you finish college. After receiving the admission notice, my last shred of patience for Cyrus Gu completely vanished. Cyrus Gu, how can you be so shameless? You said that as long as I got into college, then this marriage would be off. Didn't you say I was stupid and wouldn't get in, and that you looked down on marrying me? I told you. It's me who doesn't want you. After scolding Cyrus Gu, I completely ignored him. He went to find Grandma again, hoping to use Grandpa's last words to force her to make me marry. But when Grandma heard about the things Cyrus Gu had done, she directly chased him out with a broom. You little brat. Stealing my granddaughter's admission notice. How dare you bring up marriage? Get lost. After all this, the Gu family's reputation in the village is completely ruined. Whenever the Gu family members go out, everyone can't help but gather together to gossip. Gu's mother, who was already in poor health, became even more ill due to this anger. In the past, Gu Yun and Gu Yu relied on their cuteness and cleverness, and the villagers treated them well, believing their words without hesitation. Now that the truth has come to light, the village children have given them the nickname liars. The little child, being so young, naturally couldn't bear all this. And their resentment towards Cyrus Gu and Lin Jiao grew even stronger. In the past, my family helped the Gu family, And Cyrus Gu was able to save quite a bit of his monthly allowance for Lin Jiao, but with things escalating like this, our parents naturally refused to help anymore. The expenses for Mother Gu's medicine, as well as the clothing and education costs for Jiu Yun and Jiu Yu, all fell on Cyrus Gu alone. He wanted Lin Jiao to take out some money for emergencies. But Lin Jiao refused no matter what. The two of them argued several times, and it almost escalated to the team leader. These are all things my mother told me. She was angry about the things Jiu Jia did, and naturally, the worse Jiu Jia was, the happier she became. I held my mother and tried to persuade her not to take it to heart, using all kinds of words. What they do has nothing to do with us anymore. Good days are ahead. I want to put an end to this, but some people are unwilling to let it go. That day, I was just about to finish work and head home, but after walking just a few steps, my legs felt a bit unsteady. At the same time, an inexplicable sense of heat spread throughout my body. I instinctively leaned against a tree, and when I looked up, I saw Cyrus Gu appear in front of me. "Is it you?" I almost instantly realized that he had drugged me. "Cyrus Gu, you despicable and shameless." Using such lowly tactics, Cyrus Gu looked at me with eyes full of hatred, and he resentfully said, "Ivy Sue, if you want to blame someone, blame yourself for being so disobedient. Isn't it better to just marry me honestly? Why do you have to go to that university, making me lose face in front of Director Song? Do you know that I could have been promoted this time if I had gone back?" I forced myself to speak while gasping for breath. "Cyrus Gu, don't think I don't know what you're up to. Aren't you just hoping that my parents will continue to support your broken family for my sake? Ask yourself, how much of your monthly allowance have you given to your own family?" Cyrus Gu let out a cold laugh and mocked, "So what? If you want to blame someone, blame your grandfather, who insisted that as long as you get into college, you wouldn't have to marry me. Why should I? This is what you owe our family. Don't say that your dad is the only one involved in your marriage. Your whole family should repay our family. We could have had a good marriage. But you insisted on forcing me to do this." I turned to run, but the next moment I was suddenly pushed to the ground by Lin Jiao, who had appeared out of nowhere. "Why are you saying so much nonsense to her? Hurry up with your actions." The moment I saw Lin Jiao, I widened my eyes and said, "Lin Jiao, why are you helping Cyrus Gu? You harmed me, so how could I possibly let you have it easy?" Lin Jiao looked at me with a sinister gaze. "Ivy Sue, just stay here and get married, honestly." I grabbed the grass on the ground and stared at Cyrus Gu. "Do you dare? If you do this, I will tell Commander Song, and then you can forget about staying in the army." Lin Jiao bent down and patted my face, sneering as she spoke. "Ivy Sue, do you think we haven't thought of that? Cyrus Gu also took the medicine. At that time, just say that the child was playing and accidentally spilled the powder into the water for you to drink. Everything was an accident. Who would believe your words? It's you, being seen mingling with a man in public, whether you are willing or not. If you don't get married, just wait to be drowned in a pig cage." It felt as if flames were burning every drop of water in my body. Even my blood was boiling. I steeled my heart, biting my lip hard, using the pain to keep myself rational. On the other side, Cyrus Gu's gaze had already become chaotic, his eyes revealing an unmasked lewd desire. Lin Jiao squatted on the ground, looking at me with a triumphant expression. "Ivy Sue, don't think anyone can come to save you. I've already sent everyone away. Even if you bite your lips to shreds and scream until your voice is hoarse, no one will be able to save you. Ivy Sue, staying here for a lifetime. This is your fate." Lin Jiao's wild laughter echoed in my ears, momentarily reminding me of how she was at Cyrus Gu's funeral in my previous life. She is clearly the same age as me, yet she looks 20 years younger. Her elegant demeanor is a world apart from my nearly crazed state. I clearly remember how she walked step by step to my side, proudly showing off to me. "Ivy Sue, what does it matter that you've been married to Cyrus Gu for 40 years? He married you just to find a housekeeper, to help him take care of his parents, raise his younger siblings, and manage everything inside and outside the home. He said, I'm not like you. You were born to serve others. Unlike me who needs to be pampered to live. Speaking of which, I should thank you for letting me enjoy so many years of comfort with Brother Gu. I was so angry that my whole body trembled. I raised my hand to slap her, but my children pushed me down to the ground. Dad and Aunt Lin are truly a match made in heaven. Mom, why don't you take a look at what you look like now? I would be embarrassed to call you my mom. Dad's funeral and Dad's estate, how to handle them is his business. What do you, someone who has done nothing, have to say about it? Dad was right from the beginning. It was because you had too good a life that you were spoiled. They stood on the side of the person who harmed me for a lifetime. Using words that pierced my heart in the softest places, I was literally driven to death by anger, and before I died, I could still hear them complaining about my unfortunate death. If I could live my life over again, having done so much, how could I possibly be willing to accept the same ending as my previous life? I turned my head to look at the dazed Cyrus Gu approaching me, my gaze landing on the stone beside Lin Jiao. A surge of inexplicable strength filled my body. And just before Cyrus Gu could grab me, I forcefully picked up the stone and smashed it towards Lin Jiao's head. Lin Jiao fell softly to the ground, and I used that momentum to desperately climb back up. Cyrus Gu suddenly pounced on Lin Jiao, continuously tearing at her clothes. Lin Jiao was stunned by my sudden attack, and as soon as she reacted, she immediately protected her clothes. Cyrus Gu, look clearly, I am not Ivy Su, let go of me. At first, she tried to awaken Cyrus Gu's reason. But they had taken too much of the drug powder for the sake of their performance, causing Cyrus Gu to have long lost his sanity. After a few years in the military, he naturally had the strength to easily overpower Lin Jiao. Lin Jiao finally panicked, crying out for Cyrus Gu to let her go, even begging me for help. Ivy Su, save me. I know I was wrong. Please, please save me. I threw the stone that had hit her to the ground. And Lin Jiao's face flashed with a hint of joy as she eagerly crawled over to pick up the stone, wanting to hit Cyrus Gu and knock him out like I did. But just as her fingers were about to touch the stone, Cyrus Gu suddenly yanked her back and tore her clothes apart. I turned around, ignoring the screams and curses behind me, and walked step by step towards the other side, avoiding the crowd. I went home and immediately immersed myself in the water tank. In the last moment before my consciousness faded, I saw my mother drop the farming tools in her hands and rush towards me anxiously. Don't call anyone. After leaving this sentence, I completely fainted. When I woke up again, my worried parents were in front of me. Ivy, it's good that you're awake. It's good that you're awake. Mom was quite scared, but now she can finally breathe a sigh of relief. I tried to raise a faint smile and said apologetically, Dad, Mom, I'm sorry, I worried you. Mom shook her head and gently stroked my hair. Is it Cyrus Gu and Lin Jiao again? Before I could ask, my dad spoke up. Cyrus Gu and Lin Jiao were caught having an affair in the small woods. I heard they can't even break up. That piece of land nearby, I remember it's where you work, Ivy. I nodded and told my parents everything that had happened. After hearing my words, my mother hugged me tightly, feeling heartbroken. Those two brutes, why won't they leave my Ivy alone? Dad looked at me with concern. Ivy, they are likely going to pin this on you. Why don't you go stay with your grandmother for a while? As for work here, your mom and I can handle it. I shook my head and spoke. There's no escaping it. I'm leaving. It seems this matter has been confirmed. Sure enough, just as I was speaking, a commotion suddenly erupted outside the house. Ivy Su, come out here. I got dressed and went to the door with my parents. I immediately saw the rarely appearing Mrs. Gu, blocking the door with Cyrus Gu and Lin Jiao, surrounded by a number of villagers watching the scene. Ivy Su, you little slut. Upon seeing me, Gu's mother immediately began to scold angrily. How dare you plot against my son? My mother was already in a fit of anger, and upon hearing this, she stepped forward and forcefully pinned Gu's mother down, grabbing her hair and slapping her twice. Who are you to insult others when you are so unclean yourself? What does your son's accident have to do with my daughter? If you say that again, I'll tear your mouth apart. Cyrus Gu wanted to go and pull, but was directly blocked by his father. Gu's mother was in poor health, and Cyrus Gu had just been drugged, so he naturally couldn't fight against my parents. The villagers quickly pulled apart and said in a good-natured tone, what is there to discuss? What are you causing a scene for? Cyrus Gu looked at me with hatred and spoke. Ivy Su, you actually dared to drug me and Lin Jiao. Where's the evidence? I calmly looked at Cyrus Gu in front of me and sneered. And yo, you tell them, didn't Ivy Su ask you to bring the water? Cyrus pushed out Aunt Lee's child, Lee Ernew, and pointed at me, asking. Lee Ernew cautiously glanced at me, then nodded and said, "It's her. She asked me to bring water to Brother Gu and Comrade Lin." As soon as these words were spoken, there was an instant uproar. Facing the many doubtful and disdainful gazes, I let out a sneer. "No, you said it was me who made you drug him. Then tell me, where did I give you something that made you agree?" Lee Ernew straightened his neck and immediately replied, "On that small dirt slope behind the mountain, you gave me a piece of candy, saying it was just to quench Gu Gij and Lin Jiqing's thirst. I didn't know there were harmful things inside." I stared at Lee Ernew and continued to press for answers. "What candy? Show it to me," Cyrus Gu said eagerly. "That candy was eaten a long time ago. Ivy Sue, do you still want to deny it?" I grabbed Lee Ernew's shoulder and suddenly said with a serious face, "Ernew, you must have kept the candy wrapper after eating the candy, right? But you mentioned the place. Without saying the time, was it during dinner yesterday, or at noon the day before? Remember, the child who lies will be eaten by monsters." I made a funny face, scaring Lee Ernew so much that he immediately cried and threw out the candy wrapper. "This is it. It was last night's dinner." I let go of the frightened Lee Ernew, picking up the candy wrapper from the ground. "I remember this kind of candy. It was specially brought back by Cyrus Gu, right?" Back then, Gu Yun and Gu Yu were still showing off in the village, saying they only gave it to Lin Jiao and them. Others don't have a single one. Moreover, during dinner yesterday, I helped Aunt Liu move things. "Cyrus Gu, are you going to blame your own dirty deeds on me?" Seeing that something was wrong, Aunt Lee immediately questioned angrily, "Nyo, to be honest, who exactly made you drug him?" Lee Nyo was so scared that he trembled all over and said softly, "It was Brother Gu. He asked me to give it to Sister Ivy, but I really don't know what was put in the water. Brother Gu said I was harming others, and that if I didn't help him, he would take me to the police." At this point, with the truth revealed, Aunt Lee immediately charged at Cyrus Gu and Lin Jiao. "You two shameless ones. How dare they involve our families in Nyo? Do they really think I've calmed down now?" Mother Gu wanted to intervene, but unexpectedly, Aunt Lee ended up humiliating her. In the end, the Gu family completely lost face. Lin Jiao's innocence was ruined, and she could only marry Cyrus Gu. It is said that Lin Jiao's parents originally wanted her to marry in exchange for a bride price, but Lin Jiao insisted on not agreeing unless she got into college. Now that they learned she not only failed to get into college but also gave herself to Cyrus Gu, they were so angry that they cut off all relations. Cyrus Gu did not want to take responsibility, so Lin Jiao threatened to report him, forcing him to submit a marriage application. The wedding day was quite a scene. Mother Gu wanted to give Lin Jiao a warning, but Lin Jiao was not the type to swallow her anger and they started arguing in public. However, I did not witness any of this firsthand. On their wedding day, my parents sent me off on the train to university. Arriving at the university I had longed for in 2 lifetimes, I cherished every moment spent at school. I studied desperately, not giving up any opportunity to improve myself. Later, taking advantage of the wave of reform and opening up, I ventured into industry and quickly made my first pot of gold. As my business grew larger, I bought a house in the city, wanting to bring my family over to live with me. My grandmother refused to come to the city with me, insisting on staying in the countryside, so I could only bring my parents to the city. By the time I returned to the village again, it was already 10 years later to handle my grandmother's funeral. It was also this return to the village that allowed me to hear about the recent developments concerning Cyrus Gu and the others. Gu's mother was in poor health, and all the household chores fell on Lin Jiao. Lin Jiao had been spoiled, and after becoming pregnant, she was even less willing to lift a finger, so she made Gu Yun and Gu Yu do the work. During one-time boiling water, the two of them couldn't hold the pot steady, resulting in the entire pot of boiling water spilling down. Gu Yun's hand was crushed, and Gu Yu suffered severe burns on her face, leaving her with large scars. Cyrus Gu had a huge argument with Lin Jiao after learning about it, and even resorted to physical violence. Lin Jiao, already unable to tolerate Gu's mother's sarcastic remarks, was provoked and directly sent a letter of complaint, leading to Cyrus Gu's dismissal and return to the village. Cyrus had high aspirations but couldn't find a decent job, constantly arguing with Lin Jiao all day long. In the midst of their blame-shifting, Gu's mother lost her life, and Jiu Yun silently left home, while Jiu Yu, due to the scar on her face, could only marry a butcher from the neighboring village whose wife had just died, cutting off all ties with them. I've said it before, I only see Jiao Jiao as a sister. Why do you have to think of us in such a sordid way? As for me, the neighbor's wife said to me, sighing, I heard that he was diagnosed with cancer not long ago. I smiled at my aunt and said, who knows? Just as I was about to leave after handling my grandmother's funeral, Cyrus Gu suddenly appeared and stopped me. His hair was gray, and he looked quite old, but his eyes were filled with excitement. Ivy, you have been reborn, right? In my past life, I made mistakes. In this life, let's do it right. That despicable woman Lin Jiao. She is vain and cannot compare to you in any way. The bodyguard beside me blocked Cyrus Gu, and I pinched my nose in disgust. What kind of lunatic is this? Stay away from me with that stench. Cyrus Gu stood frozen in place. This was the last thing he left me from his past life. For the past 40 years, every time he got close to me, he could smell the stench of a country bumpkin, which he found utterly repulsive. But that smell isn't from me, it's the stench emanating from his decayed heart. I ignored Cyrus Gu's angry shouts. His rebirth has come just in time. Before he dies, let him fully experience the ending that was rightfully his. The car started, and the forsythia by the roadside was blooming brilliantly. My spring has just begun.